guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And I thought that we would do something different today. I thought that I would read from books that I don't typically read from. I read them in my personal life, but I don't typically read them on my channel. I have from time to time, but not typically. I typically read the Melody Beatty meditation, so I just grabbed a bunch of books that I read in my personal life and the ones that I haven't read today. And I thought, okay, so I got 2 stacks. So I thought I'll pick one book from each stack and we'll read 2 meditations over here and see what the universe is telling us. Are you ready? Okay, so I have no idea which book I'm picking. Let's go through all these books. And the first, Nightlight by Amy Dean. I actually have read this book over here quite a bit. This is readings for, well, what does it say? Well, it's nighttime readings before you go to bed, but it says a book of nighttime meditations. So they're kind of like meditations for like ending your day. It'll probably be reflections on the day that you've had. Now let's go over to this stack. And the book that I pick is, Forgiving and Moving On. Powerful inspiration for personal change. And I feel like a friend of mine gave me this when my mom passed away for like grief. So 2 good meditation books to read from today. And all of these little daily affirmation, days of healing, days of joy, healing after, oh no, this is the book that my friend gave me. Healing After Loss, daily meditations for working through grief. You can see my friend, she inscribed it in here to me. And then Touchstones, daily meditations for men, daily meditations for living in balance, The Soul's Companion, connecting with the soul through daily meditations. I love this one so much. My mom and I both have one of these. She inscribed this one to me. A Time to Be Free, daily meditations for enhancing self-esteem, Believing in Myself, daily meditations for healing and building self-esteem, and a recovery-based book. So, and the recovery-based book that I have is this Seek Sobriety, Find Serenity by Rabbi Twersky, and it's one of my favorite, meditation books for recovery. So anyway, those are the books that I have over here that I read on like a regular basis, and I typically save the Melody Beatty ones to read on this channel. So I thought that we would do something different today and read from those. We were in marriage counseling last night, and we were talking about like doing like 30 days of a romantic gesture every single day was something that I brought up to initiate on like the day of our anniversary starting going forward for like 30 days. And Alex was like, I really like that idea. And they could be like any just kind of like random romantic like things like, if he usually takes out the trash, I'll take out the trash for him. Or it could be bringing somebody flowers or writing them a love note or, cooking them their favorite meal, which that probably won't happen in our house. But it could just be any kind of random thing, right? And so we were talking about that, and our therapist was like, well, Peter, you love those daily affirmation books, right? And I said, yeah, I love them. I read them every day. And I have since I got sober. And he said, you know that they have those for romance as well? And I said, they do? And he goes, yeah, they have like daily affirmations for romance. And he goes, maybe you guys could get one of those and you could read that every day to each other. And I was like, oh, that's such a great idea to cultivate this idea of passion and romance in a relationship. People ask us all the time, like, how do you keep the passion alive? How do you keep the romance alive? And it's difficult. People have jobs, we have family, we have friends and things like that. But it's something that Alex and I have worked very, very hard on through the years is to keep that passion and that romance alive by doing these little things, One of the things that we did, I didn't even expect to talk about this in this video today, but one of the things that we did before we got married, because I had seen an Oprah about this, was that we started a gratitude list of like 3 or 5 things that like we were specifically grateful for that person had done for us that day. And it could, like I said, it could be like you took the trash out for me or whatever, right? Or you made the bed, or it could just be anything random. And then at the end of the day, we would read those 3 to 5 things to the other person out loud, right? And it was a way for us to be vocally grateful for each other. And we've done so many of those things. Coupon books that we made up for each other. Just, and that is you have to work to keep the romance and the passion alive. So if there are those daily affirmation books for romance out there, I think that would be great. All right, let's look at the meditation for Forgiving and Moving On. Powerful inspiration for personal change. August 8th. Let's see what it says to us. Get to it. Hold on. Okay. Living with My Highest Good, August 8th. Today I recognize the beauty that is me and mine. I have majesty at my fingertips. I have wisdom, grace, and love. I reach higher toward my divine godlike nature. I no longer separate myself from my higher power. I am thine and thou art mine. Use me as thy instrument. There is no need to run away. There is nowhere to run. I am coming home to my best nature, to my greatest good. When I deny my higher self, I deny God. When I deny God, I deny my higher self, because we are one and the same. I live with the best in me. What a piece of work is man. In action, how like an angel. In apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, William Shakespeare. I love that so much, about this idea of living with my highest good. You know, I think that has been my aim in the last, I would say, year and a half. You know, it's like really focusing on attempting to be the best version of myself that I can be. Not beating myself up, not trying to be too hard on myself, but allowing myself to live with my greatest good of realizing, you know, Peter, you are a funny person. Peter, people do like you, you know. Peter, you do look nice sometimes, you know, and compliments people give me, I'm not immediately like resistant to it. Like I was always like real resistant to that, you know. If people would say, oh, you have pretty eyes, I'd be like, oh no. Now I'm like, oh, thank you, I appreciate that, you know. And then I think, oh, well, maybe I do have pretty eyes, you know, or when people say, you know, like, you're really kind-hearted, or you're really nice, or, you know, whatever, I'm like, oh, thank you, I really appreciate that, and I take that in, and I allow myself to live with my greatest good, you know. We work so hard in this world at beating ourselves up that we don't work very hard at lifting ourselves up. And I think that if we took more time and energy to lift ourselves up more and to build ourselves up more, you know, then I think that we would achieve more in life. I've spent so much of my life beating myself down, criticizing myself. You know, I am my worst critic. I mean, people say that all the time, but I truly have always been my worst critic. You know, I'm the one that beats there's like, I've said this in a million videos. There's nothing people can say to me that I haven't already said to myself. You know, I've always been very, very hard on myself my whole life. I don't want to be that anymore, you know? I want to lift myself up. And, you know, I said in a video that I filmed just a while ago, I said something about, you know, like, being my most magnificent, fantastic self. And, like, that's who I want to be. I want to be somebody that can say that and doesn't stutter and, you know, because it has difficulty saying those words, but really believes those words. I want to be the person that believes those words, you know? And I'm 51 years old and I still struggle with that. I'm 51 years old and I still struggle looking in the mirror and loving myself unconditionally. And so, like, I am a work in progress. I'm still working on that, you know? And I do work every single day. But I think this idea of living with our best good instead of living with our worst bad, maybe, you know, is something to aim for. So that's a great meditation. Okay, and then something to end the day with, Nightlight by Amy Dean. August 8th. Okay, August 8th. The man who goes alone can start today, but he who travels with another must wait till that other is ready. Henry David Thoreau. Do we ever change our minds or our plans, depending on what another person says all the time? Maybe we like some time alone, but because another wants us to do something else, we bow to those wishes. We may even feel lost unless someone provides us with suggestions of things to do. It's up to us to undertake our own journeys in life. If we're always waiting to see what someone else will do, we'll be waiting forever. We need to make independent choices and decisions without feeling linked to the wishes or desires of others. Tonight we can begin our journeys by making our choices. Our desires are important, and it's equally important to stick to them no matter what the wishes of another. It's okay to change my mind and my plans if I wish, choose to be alone or ask to be with another. The decision is mine to make. You know, I think it's a really great meditation, especially on the heels of the other one, talking about our greatest good. You know, it took me a really long time to realize this is my life. I am the one that's making the decisions about my life. I am the one that's living my life, you know? And, you know, I would say these things at times that I look back on and I think are such statements of martyrdom, but I would say things like, I'm a people pleaser, you know? And I would want pats on the back for being a people pleaser. There's no pats on the back for being a people pleaser. What you're really saying is my own desires and wishes are all foregone for making everybody around me happy. You know, and then those are not, in all honesty, if you're that big of a people pleaser, because people will be like, well, what's wrong with being a people pleaser? Well, you're not living your life. You're not living your true, authentic life, right? Because your main goal in life is to make everybody around you happy, even at the expense of your own happiness. That's not healthy, you know? We can make other people happy. You know, it's like, I want to give a good example. I've shared this a lot, you know? My friend Tanya, years ago, you know, like I would ask her to go do stuff and she'd say, no, I don't feel like it tonight. No, I don't feel like it. And sometimes my feelings would get hurt, you know? But then she would say, oh yeah, like I really want to go do this. I want to go, you know, do this or whatever. And then I would, like, I knew in those moments, like she really wanted to be there. And it wasn't personal. It was that she had worked a long day, a 12-hour day, and she was tired from standing on her feet. She just didn't want to go and, you know, go to a movie or out to eat or whatever, you know? But those moments, she really wanted to be there. And then flash forward, there would be moments where I wouldn't ask her to go do stuff. And she said something to me one time and she said, could you just always ask me? Like, this is where I love being able to have this kind of open, you know, conversation with my best friend. She'd say, you know, do you mind just like asking me if you go do something? And I'd be like, no, but I didn't think that you would want to go out dancing on a Saturday night. She goes, well, I probably don't, but I still like to be asked. I still like to be included, and then I can make up my own choice, right? I totally get that, you know? But then you have to own your own choice. And you also have to respect other people of making their own choices as well. But this is our life to live. It just started pouring down rain. Do you hear that? Oh, I was going to clean the weeds. Well, I guess that won't be happening today. Anyway, but we have every right to live our own life and make our own decisions. And you should. You only have one time around this place, you know? Live it to the best of your ability and enjoy every minute of it. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.